Good day, my people. Welcome to today's segment, which is Learning Python with Data Science, day 19. So, data visualization part 2 is another beautiful segment that we're going to look at today, and we're basically going to practice. I know it's been a while. Yeah, I've been working on a marathon and also other stuff as well. Getting this new background, setting it up, my studio, and all the stuff. One thing I want to inform you is that the marathon is still live, right? It's still live. I think we're in day 3. I think I posted it in my TikTok and also in the Telegram group. So if you've not joined the Telegram group, you're missing out. There are things happening there. Make sure you go to the link below and you're going to see the Telegram link. Go there, join. Over there, we work on data sets, know more analysis, drive more insights, build up your analytics skill, sharpen it more. We're going to go into our system and we're going to see the things we can do.
Smart Sound.
The next thing we're going to do is to create our file, just like we do. You understand? Starting from day 1 to this day, we are going to create our data set and we're going to create our file. So when we say our file, we say data visual part2.ipymb. When we hit enter, we're going to have this environment. Like you guys know, that's the environment that we use for our analysis. So if you remember the last class in part 1, we looked at other visualizations using Seaborn and Matplotlib to get a good understanding of what visualization is like. So I'm going to be using this other visualization. Plotly is a very, very modernized kind of library that is used for visualization. And one beautiful thing about Plotly is that it's interactive. I use it most times in my visualization, right? So let's quickly dive deep and see the use of this Plotly and how we can use it to drive insight. We're going to basically get a data and work with that data to see the insight that we can get from it. So we're going to come here, we're going to create code, and just like always, you have to select your KNI, select the base KNI. So we'll say import numpy has np, then import pandas, which is what we use to bring it in, then import plotly.express as px. So remember, Plotly is a new library that we are using. So you have to basically use your terminal to install it. You have to do pip install Plotly to basically use this Plotly library, just like the way we did for NumPy, pandas, and other libraries that we're using so far, right? So use the pip install Plotly to basically install Plotly into the environment, then you run it. So since I've already done that, so all I just have to do is to run this particular libraries over here. So but there's one other thing that Plotly gives to us, is that it gives us, you can basically bring in your data yourself. Unlike Seaborn in the last class, it gave us issues, but Plotly makes it easier to have connection to it, to retrieve it from the server. It's easy, right? You just have to basically call the data name with it. So we'll say df.tips. I already know the data I want to use, px.data.tips. So df.data.tips, that is the name. Then all we just have to say df.tips. So let's see the first 5 rows. The variables that we can find there is total bill, tip, sex, smoker, day, time, and size. All these things are the variables that have different information inside of them that can be used, right? So we will dive deeper into this particular thing. I'm going to basically show you the insights that can be driven from this. We're going to dive into the descriptive analysis, and we're going to go into the hypothesis analysis. We'll say dftips.info. If you run it, it's going to give you the objects that is found there, like floats, integers, objects that are found inside of the data. So let's see, df_tips, then dot shape. So shape basically checks for the rows and the columns that are found in the data. We have 244 rows and 7 columns, and if you can confirm there, they are all what? There are 7 columns in the data, right? So the next thing is to understand the columns, right? The understand the columns meaning df.columns. We found out that this data set is for a restaurant, and this restaurant, they have different factors of data that they take in. They have the total bill, they have the tip, they have the sex, they have the smoker, they have the day, they have the time and the size. So all these things are the factors that the restaurant take in from their customers. So the total bill basically is the total amount spent by the customer on a particular food. The tip is basically the tip awarded to the server. Then the sex is basically the gender of the customer. Is he a male or a female? Smoker, the particular person that ordered this food in the restaurant, is he a non-smoker or is he a smoker? Then we have the day. The day is another factor. That means the day that the restaurant opened, right? Then the time. The time basically is the hour. Is it during lunch? Is it during dinner? And what I found out in this data set only segmented into two, which is lunch and dinner. Last one, which is the size. The size is segmented into variations. That means the amount of plates that's been given to the customer or the portion of food that's been given to the customer. So if you see two, that means let's say like 2 plates. If you see three plates. All these things are things you have to understand before going into your data set. I can perform analysis with just my head without looking at anything. Why? It's because I already understand what is going on in the data. But if you don't have a good understanding, if you don't do your research, if you don't do other stuff about the data or about that thing you're analyzing, you will not be able to, work with it. And that's why I say data science is a very good particular perspective, because it helps analysts to venture into the category that they love. If you love fashion, there is always a fashion play that want to perform analysis. If you love sports, you can go. If you love healthcare, whatever choice that you can go. Do you understand? So whatever segment that you love, you can basically perform analysis. As far as you have a good understanding about it, about what is going on there, the better you love that particular thing, the higher the chance that you will love what is there, right? Let's say I want to find out the total bill for each day. That means what is the total sum of money for each day? Do you understand? And let's say I also want to look for the max. So let me write down all these questions. These questions were not given to me by anyone. I drive inside because I have an analytic skill. Analytic skill is the ability to try to find insight. So sometimes you will not be given the question. Sometimes it's you to just look at what is there on the data, understand the data, know what the data is all about. Then you can use your analytical skills and try to drive your own questions and drive insight yourself. By my own self, first thing I want to know is, why did this happen, right? Why did this happen is known as the hypothesis analysis. I want to know the amount of total bill that is spent for each day. That means the second analysis is I'm looking for the maximum total bill that has been spent before and is sitting. Then the next that we're going to now do, I want to look for correlation of the tip with the total bill. I also want to see the gender that spends more money in the restaurant. So I think we already know that. Ready? So now these are the questions I just basically got out of my head right now without anything. So this is why you have to have the analytic skill set. I will help you to basically drive that power out. It's inside of you. You understand? It's inside of you. You've not found it yet. So the only thing is that I will help you to attain there. But the only thing is that, can you help yourself? If you're enjoying this video so far, come on, hit the thumbs up and also hit the like button as well. So let's proceed to the first one. The first question is this guy: the total amount of bills spent each day by the restaurant. So I'm going to visualize it. As well. There are two things I will basically do here right now. I'm going to use the group by to perform an analysis based on the day. I'm still going to basically talk about the group I in my next video, which is day 20. My next video that will be coming up soon, I'm going to talk about the group by, right? We're going to group the total bill by each day. So if I come here and I will say DF group, and over there, I'm going to now call the DF, which is what tips dot group by. So now the group by, the first one that we're going to put there is for the day. So the day, we're going to make sure it's spelled correctly. Then afterwards, mind you, I'll put has index, which is first. So in my next video, I will explain this. Then the next I'm not going to do is now put in the total bill of the user. Now I want to find out the total amount that it was spent for each day. So we're going to put dot sum at the end. So if we say df dot underscore group and we run it, you're going to see for the total bill for each day. Now this is just the descriptive analysis. We can see that on Friday 325.88, we can see 1,700 and there on Saturday, like that. Now let's visualize this. Fig 1 is equals to px dot bar. Then we say the name of the variable is df group that want to get data. Then x, we want the x to be what? We want the x to be day. Then we want the y to be total bill. Remember in your school then, there's what they call the x and y axis. I think in mathematics, when you want to plot a graph. So when you plot a graph, the y axis is for the numerical value, then the x axis is for the coefficient or the coordinate of whatever you're plotting against, right? So the y can always be for the price, right? Then the s can always be for, let's say, the months. The next thing I will now do is what we have, the color. Now I want the color to be what? To be day. Then if you want the color to be day, there's also what is known as what? Text. Text is the interaction whenever you run this, whenever you see the visualization, the interaction, what do you want to see? We are going to put total bill in the text. We'll run it. We're going to put total bill. So we run it. Can you see what's happening here? Now you can see it's now easier for you to understand as a beginner. You can see that Friday was the lowest, Saturday was the highest, Sunday was close to the highest, then Thursday was third to the highest. Now I can go ahead and add what? A title. If you run it, you will see that we have this visualization. This is our first visual in Plotly. Don't you feel this one is better? Can't you see it's more beautiful than the last one, right? So you can see the visualization we derive from this particular one, the total bill for each day. Added that. Now the next question is the max amount spent for each meals in the data, right? So if you copy that, let's work with that data set. So we'll paste it here. Now remember, all this data, all this particular thing are my own analytical questions, right? That I derive. This is not the question that was given. So sometimes you will be given questions for you to find insight, and sometimes they will give you the data set for you to just give them insight what's going on or what you think you observe, right? In this data now, I'm going to now drive the max amount, and now I will say so now we'll find out that on Friday the biggest amount that has been spent so far is $50, right? It's $50. But let's say we want to visualize it just like this one. Let's try to visualize it like this one. All we just have to do is to call the fig2, which is equals to px dot bar. Then px dot bar will now add our df underscore max, then comma x, which is the day, then followed by the y, which is the total bill. Then we now have color. The color can be the day. Then the title. So let's give it a title. Giving a title gives it a good visualization, right? So the title, we're going to say the maximum amount spent in the data. Maximum amount spent in the data. So then we'll come here, fig 2 dot show. We'll run it. So now we can see the maximum amount spent in the data is on Friday $40. I think you can see it already, right? It's very, 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 very clear over there. So this is the thing. This is what I'm talking about. When you have a data, then you try to bring it into visualization to have a good understanding of what is happening, right? So Friday was the lowest, Saturday was the highest, Sunday was the highest amount spent on that day. Let's go to the next one. The next one, the third one, is the correlation of tip with total bill. The correlation of tip with total bill. Let's look at the correlation between it. So we'll say fig 3 is equals to px dot scatter. Then over there, we're going to now say df dot tips, comma, the x should be for tips, then y should be for total bill. Then we'll have the title. The title is, we have that, we're going to say fig 3 dot show. So we'll run it. Fig 3 dot show. Okay, it's telling me value name is not a name. Okay, so let me see over here. Total bill, tip. Okay, sorry, it's not tip, it's tip. So you can see the visualization of it. So let me explain this correlation. So after running it, this is what the scatter plot gave us between tip and total bill. And now some of you may not know what correlation is. Correlation is, can you use this thing to determine this? Do you understand? So you putting more hours in your work, will it create more productivity for you in that day? Or you putting less amount of work, will it create less amount of productivity for you in that day? So that is what all this thing is all about, right? So now we're going to try to look at the tip and look at the total bill and look for the correlation for it. So we are looking for the total bill across the tip. So you can see the tip starts from 2, 4, 6, 8, and 10. And you can see the total bill is 10, 20, 30, 40, and 50. That means the amount that is spent in the restaurant. So now if you're checking it from tip 1, you can see that tip 1 was giving $3. The total bill was $3. And you can go for tip 1 again. You can see the total bill was $5.7 in one axis. When someone spends from $7 to $10 in their total bill, they give a tip up to $1, right? Then you can see from total bill of $12 is still associated with 1. Can you see? It's still associated with 1. We can find that more activities are going on here in the total bill. As soon as it starts going higher, the total bill starts going, it increases. You can find that it's still around this area. It's still around this area, but it's still proceeding. You can see when it got to total bill of $48, the tip awarded was $6, right? You can see the total bill that was there over here was 39.42 and the tip was 7.58. That means there is a correlation between tip and total bill. That means the more food the person can buy, there is a certain correlation that this person may peradventure give a higher tip. So this is for those people working in a restaurant, people out there, and this thing can basically help them drive more insight. That means they see customer ordering more, they should expect more tip from that particular customer. So have you seen the insight that we have driven from this one now? And that is one analysis that I basically check, right? So correlation is a very, very huge part in analysis. It's going to help you a lot. Last one, which is the gender that spends more in that restaurant. And I can basically guess, and I know it's going to be the male for sure, because it's men that basically spend more, that pay for dinners and stuff like that. So we're going to check it with the total bill. Then your exercise is for you to check it with the tip. I'm going to come here and say df underscore gender. So we're going to use the bar chart, but this time the bar chart, I want it to be horizontal, right? Let's just try to twist it. How can we create an horizontal visualization instead of always being straight? So we're going to say fig 4 should be px.bar. Then we'll have the df, which is the one we just created. Df was gender. Then we have the x. The x now, instead of me putting sex, I'll put in the total bill. Then for the y, to put in the sex, which is the male. Then for color, the color, let's make it the gender. Then let's also give it what? The title. The title should be what? The gender that spends more in the restaurant. Fig 4 will run it. Fig 4 will run it. Can you see that? Can you see we now have the horizontal visualization, the bar horizontal. So you can see in the sex hazard, we have the male and we have the female. Now you can see that the male spends more. So far, so good. Segmented, the male has spent up to 3,256, while the female spent 1,570. So it comes down that male spends more in this restaurant. Let's say in this restaurant, but we know everywhere, right? So now, if you now want to advise this company or this restaurant now, which of the gender do you think we should, value more? We're not saying everyone is equal. Everyone is equal, but who do you think we should, look out more for? Now we can find that is what? The male. The male are the people that are found there more. So we are going to stop here for this segment. I don't want this video to get super long. There's still more of this visualization. There's still more we're going to still be doing, more analysis we're also going to be doing with this visualization. But today on is Plotly, as you can see, like I said, it's a beautiful segment in this particular thing. So we see how we basically, I found problem by myself and I answered my own problem, right? Okay, so that is that for that segment. As you can see, it was a very, very impactful one. That's what I say. Analysis is very, very beautiful when you focus on it, when you understand every concept that is given, and you know how to drive insight from that concept and understand it better for your own use. You will basically strive in all ramification, right? So if you drive inside, if you understand one or two, make sure you like this video. And if you're new here, welcome to Blue Ghost Insight. I think you already know what we're doing already. We give deep understanding in analysis and data information. We also help in the financial market in giving good advices for traders and also analysis in all ramification. There is a marathon that will be going on this week, and I am thinking that I don't know, but if I'm able to do this, I'll be posting my marathon videos, every insight of every data that I'm going to be doing. So hit this like button, make sure you support by subscribing. Let me see that yes, you guys love it, and I'll make sure I keep you guys posted on the things that we need to see, right? We're back fully. And make sure you follow our social media handles, and we'll always keep you informed. So analysis is a game. No one said a Nigerian can be a data analyst. No one said a Nigerian can be a data scientist. Yes, you can. You have the analytical power in us, right? So that is why I'm telling you, you should come in, join this family. Like always, stay safe, stay profitable. Blue Ghost.